Solo.
And hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. We got a we got a big one today. I'm gonna make some people upset, so let me get the cat out of the bag now. I don't love this game, but I do like it, and I'm happy to stream it. But it's not gonna stay in my collection for very long. But I'm really I think I need to be upfront with that. I know this is like the sacred cow for a lot of solo gamers, and I know it's very hard to find. So I didn't want to like kind of bury the lead here. We have Sagitt. This is Maze Knight adjacent. I will allow it. It is Maze Knight adjacent. I will definitely talk about that. And Pestilence says woof. Woot, not woof. I can catch the start. We'll watch later. Sagitt says hello, hello. Yeah, I heard about this game a lot. I was super interested in getting my hands on a copy. Arcade says Maze Knight less convoluted and with a more appealing theme to some at least. And Sagitt says I know of this game, but I've never seen any of it beyond some screenshots. I really struggle with the Maze Knight Lite, and I think that was part of my problem. I expected a bit more Maze Knight. I will. To me, this game is 1 part Mage Knight and 2 parts Spirit Island, 2 games that I absolutely love, notwithstanding my distaste for Nature Incarnate, lessening my love of Spirit Island a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like, look, the Maze Knight, you have a deck of cards, you go through it a certain number of times, you have to use those cards well. I dig all of that. I find this system a lot more rigid than Mage Knight for obvious reasons. Or for obvious mechanics, as we'll see, I should say, not necessarily obvious reasons. But you know, I mean, the Spirit Island to me, it makes more sense. I mean, you have these sparks that you're trying to control. They're trying to invade the network, and you're trying to control them and push them and convert them, and you're trying to do a lot of things like that. Again, it gives me a lot more Spirit Island feel. And the way you're, acquiring cards and abilities and whatever. So, but again, obviously the deck's a lot bigger than how many cards you would have in Spirit Island, and I get it. But so I think for me, when I play a game that's reminiscent of my favorite games, and I don't think it does what it does as well as either of those games, it's going to be a hard sell. This game, I could see the allure of trying to master it. I could see the allure of point chasing in it. I am not a beat your own score lover. So, the fact that you're really chasing points, I think, more than having this super unattainable win condition, I think is interesting. There's so much randomness in setup, in the goals you're trying to achieve. The theme is good. I don't think it's super strong. I am not like a computer hacker guy. I'm not like cyberpunk, extraordinaire. I mean, so it's there. I mean, again, there's these supercomputers, and you're trying to hack the system, and the lingo. I saw a lot about how you have to learn this whole vocabulary. Like, that didn't really bother me, and it doesn't bother me. I think it's like kind of cool. You just have to get used to it. Like, you are the contaminants. You are causing the contaminants. You have avatars. You have network. You have servers. I get all of that. I just think that it didn't hit. And again, it's so hyped, so hard to find, it's so out of print. I was very hopeful there'd be a reprint, as there's been conversations about being a reprint for years, and I'm very, Ricky Royal, again, the designer of this game, still the place to go if you want to learn how to play Mage Knight. I mean, you can come to my videos later, but I think Ricky Royal is still the gold standard. I mean, you have Liz Davidson, you have Beyond Cardboard. There's a bunch, but again, his playthroughs were very helpful for me. And by all accounts, a super, super nice dude. And this game just wasn't designed for me. I will say that. So let's get into it a little bit more. We Tabletop Troubadour says, we miss you, Greg. We miss I, the royal we, miss you too. It's a lot going on for me. Stay tuned. More news will be forthcoming in the upcoming months. And not exactly board game related, but just life news. So stay tuned. But let's get going. Right now, we have these supercomputers. SMC stands for, I don't know, something computer. There are, in the core box, there are some mini expansions. They are extraordinarily expensive. I will not be getting them. So, it is what it is. Oh, it's actually a funny story how I came to get this game. My patron, Phillip, knew that I wanted this game for a long time. He was looking for the expansions for a long time, and we found someone on BGG selling the entire thing. So, and for a decent price, so I bought it, sent him the expansions, which are really, really hard to find, and I just kept the base game. And win-win for everybody, but thanks to Phillip for the lookout for that. So the base game has basically a simulation, which is like your tutorial, and then it has 4 difficulties beyond that, as you can see by these little skull and crossbone symbols. So I'll play on the hardest difficulty. I've only played it a couple of times. I have played most of these characters multiple times off camera. I have played one game with friends co-op because I was curious to see their hardcore gamers, love Spirit Island. I was hoping to see, they've played Mage Knight. I was hoping to get their feedback of what they were seeing, what I was seeing. Kind of had similar feelings about it, like enjoyed it, not that eager to play again, like that kind of thing. So, one of those things. But, so we're going to go against Supercomputer Mother. Now, Mother tells us what kind of, I forget what these things are all called. I mean, there's so much vocabulary that we have, like these bronze challenges, these silver challenges, and these gold challenges, that these are essentially, some combination of us trying to, counteract the things that the supercomputer is trying to do, and us trying to formulating a plan to, aggressively take down the supercomputer. So these will get drawn as we need them. There's a whole errata that you can find on Ricky Royal's Box of Delight websites. I would highly recommend anyone print that out. Now, you could play a mode where you set the whole deck ahead of time and you know exactly what's supposed to come. Ricky Royal says that that's actually his favorite way to play the game. Ricky Royal, by the way, is Richard Dawkins, Ricky Royal, same person. So I could see that there are definitely some of these cards that come up where you're like, well, I wish I'd known that was coming. So, I think for the purposes of this game, I'll just do it rules as written, and I won't play the full knowledge variant. Plus, I don't find the game that overwhelmingly challenging enough to justify. Now, look, I will probably lose this scenario, but I think perfect knowledge. I can't imagine having perfect knowledge and losing all that often. So, that's a whole other thing. But, so we're going to play against Mother. Now, Mother tells us that there's going to be some setup instructions that we'll have to do. We'll get to that. Let me go through the steps of setup one by one before, so I don't mess them up. I do have to pick who I'm playing as. So I'm going to roll the sector die. And again, there are 5 different sectors. They all have their own names. Like the green sector is called Freedom, the yellow sector is Virtue, the red sector is Salvation, the blue sector is Justice, and the purple sector is Faith. So I'm going to roll this. In my head, I was like, I hope purple doesn't roll. I've actually never played as Rupert stance. It's probably a terrible way to teach this game. But fine, we'll do it. To the game at most, not 3. When playing a command action, players treat a rootkit as any other action. How do I create rootkits? Rupert Sands was trained by the best, and he expects no less from his prospects. He almost tolerates the extracurricular activities of street gangs and Dorfers, but when he is jacked in with a team of renegades, he expects total commitment in exchange for his leadership. Tales of his time with Augustus Ani and Wyatt the Cowboy Lorenza as Black Ops inside the Sapporo Expert Systems Agency are legendary. There are rumors that his cybernetic reflexes are down to nerve wire remnants from the mnemonic he used to data vault the Cessa intel that come with the legend. One thing is for sure, without these trailblazers, Renegades would never have the DI to penetrate the SMC access points. So, rootkits. Rootkits are a special type of contaminant that are available only in games when there is a Renegade with a leadership purple profile, such as Rupert Stands. I think he is the only purple profile that exists in all of Mage Knight, but I could be wrong. You can treat a partition's versatile rootkit as any other contaminant each time you take an action. Only there. See example on the right. Limitations. There are certain limitations of rootkits of the game. Only one credit most per partition is allowed, and you can create rootkits onto the network with 3 leadership commands to upload a rootkit, or 1 deception command plus a leadership command to modify a spark to a rootkit. Alright, I will play with rootkits. Now, there are only 7 of these suckers. 1 vocabulary word. The vocabulary for today. Wow, those do not look the color they are. Woof, those look really blue. That's going to be a problem playing with these. These are purple, kids. Do they look, how much like the blue do they look? Alright, there's enough of a difference. These are purple. I'm sorry, my coloring is that off. Yikes. Alright, I gotta do some camera adjustments for next time. So, these are purple. There are 7 of them. They do magical things. They will basically can act as all of the other partitions. The other partitions, other contaminants. The other contaminants we have are 2-sided. One side is green, one side is blue. The blue is useful for movement. The green is useful for essentially doing actions in other places through a neural network. And then we have the red and the yellow. The yellow are good for converting sparks into other contaminants. Again, contaminants are good, sparks are bad, and the red are good for their viruses. Are good for attacking the sparks and trying to defeat them using the attack dice, which I will get into as we go. So Rupert, here we are. It's my first time playing with Rupert. Come along for the ride. I think the big thing is I just didn't know how to make them. So I can do a leadership command to upload a rootkit, or a deception command plus 1 leadership command to modify a spark. Most excellent. Alrighty then. This is gonna go right. I don't know. We'll see how I want to set up this little world here. And I don't know what is on my table, guys. It's been too long. I need to things are happening that aren't great. So let's see the chat. More news about more Maids Night. We could always scrap this, display that instead. So Trooper, this is coming out again. Different theme, different publish. It's all hush hush, but Ricky Royal is on BGG saying it will be reduced. Ricky Royal has been saying it's going to be reproduced for a while. So I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I found threads going back to like 2019 where he was saying it was going to be reproduced. But anyway, Saget, everything that can go wrong should go wrong. This is the only solo playthrough's way. What's up, Joey? Greggy's Law. Yeah, I like the law. It's good. All right. My access point is on Faith number 6. Very exciting. So when we set up our little world here, setting up, determine the alpha hacker. I'm the alpha hacker. All right, we select the 1 SMC card. The 1 SMC is going to be Mother with all of our sparks. Now, sparks are, if you need to place a spark and you can't because there are no more in the supply, you lose. You are a big fat loser. Go home and cry about it. Haha. All right, so we're going to get Rupert's deck of cards. All these deck of cards, there are, again, all these boxes are a different deck of cards. So this is for one of the 2 blue characters, one of the 2 red characters. Green and yellow are the same. And then not the same to each other, but the same idea. And then purple, there is only 1 possible purple character. There are 15 cards in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we know this is the purple deck because each of the cards in the bottom right has a little purple person icon. So I'm going to keep that deck right there for now. We're going to take our countermeasures, blah, blah, blah. Place all unused countermeasures in the box. Again, so there was a RADA change. You actually could just pull these cards as you get to the different levels. We'll see. You'll see how that works. Create the SMC network. So we're going to shuffle the 5 server tiles. Now the back of these actually has like separate like servers that are kind of all over the place. So you have like all 5 servers, the green, the red, the blue, the yellow, and the purple, all on one server tile. So the servers get like, you know, I forget the word that's used in the rule book, but they get kind of scattered, right? And that's obviously a much more challenging game. I have not explored that side. It just seems a little insane, so we're gonna kind of leave that be. But we're going to shuffle these 5 tiles, and one at a time we're going to create our board. There is no clear directions on how to do this. I don't absolutely love it. I think that's a bad idea, but what do I know? So subsequently, the servers must connect in the network in a way that at least 2 of the partitions are touching existing partitions. So that is fine. We'll just go as so. So blue is on top. When you place the servers, you got to make sure all the numbers are facing the same way. Other than that, again, subsequent servers have to get placed with at least 2 partitions touching existing partitions. So like 2 partitions are touching an existing partition, so that could be legal. So fine, I'll just leave that there. Why not? Must connect the network in such a way that at least 2 are touching. Yes, great. Purple's next. I'll put purple. Oh. There's a reason why I don't want red and yellow both on the end, but I think I can make this work fine. We'll do purple kind of in the center because that's where Rupert's going to start anyway. And Rupee Roops. And then we have this is going to come down here. And we'll do, I haven't found that this matters too much. Oh, that's going to be brutal if I pull a certain thing. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Wolf. I'll go here with this and here with that. Great. We'll just have a very tight little network that kind of fits on the screen. Perfect. What could be better? So get these sparks, give them a little spark home up here. Getting really tight. A spark home, kids. That will go there. So again, we've run out of sparks. If we have to place one and we can't, we lose. You are a big loser. All right. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to create our hack shack. I'm going to take these command cards. Now, these are cards that we can upgrade to. They're of all different colors. They all have a cost in the top right. You'll see how that works. I actually like the way of upgrading your deck, and you do need to do it aggressively. Again, your whole game is essentially 9 turns played out over 3 different rounds. So at the end of every 3rd turn, the supercomputer is going to have a turn by which you get to check to see whether you have accomplished the mission for the round. Right, and if that didn't make sense, it will as I play. So this is our hack shack. This is where we can get upgraded commands. There are going to be 4 of these cards shown. That's enough shuffling of those. I'll do a little cut, and we have different things. So iteration, hide them, ship, the read, request, intercept, and the adrenaline surge are the cards that are going to be in our hack shack. And I'll put the draw pile for these up here. That's fine. We're going to then need to do each Renegade chooses 1 profile sheet. Each Renegade places their average standee on their access point. So I start on access point number 6. And each adds one contaminant token of their color in their access point. So I guess I do start with a root kit, which is super nice, and that is cool. Now I'm going to get 1 blue token. Now blue is made for travel. I get 1 blue token for every empty access point. Now the access points are number 6. I should actually turn this on its side, take it off the standee. So I'm going to get 4 blue tokens because we have 4 empty access points. Now these can create essentially a travel network, and I can put them wherever I want. All right, so I'm going to put 1. I'll start it there, and we'll just put a little river in the middle of all this, right? That makes sense? Sure. So I don't have any in red, don't have any in blue, but everything else looks fine. We are then going to go ahead and do the setup for the SMC we're up against. We're up against Mother. Add 1 spark to each partition on Faith. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not use Rupert during the war view. Yeah, that's fine. He has an advanced profile. Ooh, I'm so scared. I thought there was something where he started on a weird. I thought he has something special with this. Rupert Sands. His access point should be dictated by any player. His access point playing with a 1/4 player should be number 6 on any server other than Faith, not being used by any other player. Note then Rupert's home server is whichever server his access point is on. All right, so there was an errata with Rupert. So his access point is actually not Faith. Yeah, I thought I remembered reading something. Again, errata. So Rupert's access point should be dictated by. So this is actually wrong. It just hasn't been. Again, there was only one printing in this game. So his access point starting with the 1 to 4 player game should be number 6 on any server other than Faith. Well, isn't that just cheerful? I will start him on number 6 in red then. And I will rearrange my little river here a little differently. All right, that makes some sense, and we do get a rootkit. All right. So we also add 1 spark to every partition adjacent to Faith. Well, forget that. I ain't putting that crap there. The defenses are set up before we actually supposed to do the blue node, so maybe I'll just do this in the order you're supposed to instead of continually changing it. So we add 1 spark to every partition adjacent to Faith. There are unfortunately a lot of them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 14 sparks already on the board. Probably put Faith in a place I shouldn't have. All right, that's fine. And then finally, I have 1 spark to every closed partition that has no sparks. Now, closed partitions are only the partitions that don't have anything on the edge of the board. So the closed partition here has no sparks, so that's the access point on 6. My home access point, but again, I put my access point on, what the heck is the name of the yellow thing? The yellow thing is Virtue. Of course, I'm very virtuous. So my home server is now Virtue. That's a closed partition, so that's fine. So we literally only have 8 left in our supply. We have 17 sparks on the board to start the game. That's a lot. All right, now I can put these blue nodes out. I'm hesitant to put them in places where sparks are, but I might not have a choice. I can treat, yeah, and I could treat my rootkit as a blue when moving, so I could treat my rootkit as a contaminant of any color, depending on whatever action I'm taking. So, which can be super helpful. I could treat it like a yellow at times, which is also going to be super helpful. I don't know my goals yet. Tidy up. Yeah, this is it. So I just got to figure out where I'm putting where do I want to be able to move to quickly. I'll just have the ability to move around red. I don't see another obvious thing to do with those 4 blue nodes that I'm going to be able to get, or that I was able to get. And that is fine. Now, Certain things to know about. There are installations. There are things that make your life a bit easier, and then there are countermeasures. So that black box is called a guardian. That is formed anytime there are 3 sparks in the same partition. The 3 sparks are immediately removed and become a guardian. If you have to add another spark to a place with a guardian, there is some kind of explosion, and that's not good. Instead of placing 1 spark in that partition, you will place 2 sparks in the next partition that is on the same server. That is, generally speaking, +1. There are times where it is -1, and we'll get to that. It's only when the sparks are in the movement step, but that only happens after every 3 of your turns. All right. You also have these things. So these are your installations. The red installations make it easy to make red contaminants. The yellow installations make it easy to make yellow contaminants. The green installations make it possible for you to act as if you were in any other partition on the same server. And the blue installations allow you to essentially teleport anywhere you want on the network. They're all very helpful. You will build a lot less of them than you think. However, if you're playing a scoring game, building those is one way to increase your score, because if you cared about those sort of things, they can be pretty helpful. So I only have 6 of these little root kits. Now these are supply limited. So one thing I found in a multiplayer game, how you use these because they're so limited was super interesting. We essentially ran out of our contaminants pretty early in the game, and we were kind of having to play this tug of war with the contaminants when they were on the board, and that was like definitely a different way to play. So I'll kind of get into the commands and stuff as we start playing. I'm going to draw my starting hand of 5 cards. I got Black Hat. We have Data Steal. We have Memory Steal. We have Renegade Apprentice. And maybe this was ambitious. I will move these out of the way and make all the little supply line of contaminants. This should work. And then my 5th card in my hand is Infiltrate. All right, so I can treat the root kit as anything, right? So I could treat it as if it were red and do an attack. Otherwise, again, you can only attack if there's a red contaminant there. But again, the root kit is super, super flexible. Now, we're going to have one goal we need to accomplish in the bronze part of this game. So I'm going to shuffle up this deck of 7 cards. I'll get a D8 to make it random, and I will just roll the D8. I rolled a 5. So I'm going to count from the bottom. The 5th card up is Knowledge is the price of freedom. Goal, have 2 contaminants per player color on this card. 2 contaminants per player's color on this card. When you purchase an advanced command from the Hack Shack, you must also remove 1 contaminant of your color from the network and place it on this card, or you cannot purchase that card. Whoa. That's a horrendous card to get. As I said, lots of randomness in this game. That's brutal. Because normally you want to buy a lot of Hacksaw cards. I do not know how I'm going to get enough root kits to make that even a viable thing. So I kind of hate that. But we'll see. Yeah. All right. Wow, this is all problematic. Yeah, we might be restarting, and not with Rupert in a second. I haven't seen this card before. That's gross. All right, we are gonna go. What can go wrong will go wrong. Welcome to Solo Playthroughs. All right, I'm trying to get this. Yeah, my color's really off today, guys. I'm sorry, and ladies. Just did not realize it was so bad. So each of these cards gives you commands. You do need to be careful that when you take actions, you can literally you only do one thing, and only one of that one thing, and then all the cards you said are discarded, so you can't like save any commands over. So it's like and you can overplay for an action. At the end of the round, end of my first turn, I can keep one card in my hand and draw 5 new ones, so I can have 6 cards in my hand for the next one. But as part of an upload, I can get one additional contaminant. I feel like I'm gonna need that. You can only upload on places that do not have countermeasures. Again, the countermeasures are going to be sparks or guardians. There are also flares and firewalls, but that's a whole other thing. They're just basically sparks. The other side, the white side, is a flare. The white side of a guardian is a firewall. Those are all also component limited. There are only 5. If I had to place a 5th firewall or guardian, you also lose the game that way. But yeah, we got problems. This is a really bad. I'll meet the goal easy, and I'm assuming the rewards are gonna be pretty nice, but I definitely don't love it. I'm gonna have to move somewhere. So the movement's interesting. So again, because I would be aggressively buying these cards. Wolf. So again, I can move from any blue to any other blue, and again, the root kick can count as a blue for movement. But to initiate the move, I do have to spend at least 1 blue command. There's also a beginning of turn sequence that I don't want to forget about. So started by turn step. During the start of my turn, I'm going to add a spark to my access point. Again, my access point was 6 on virtue. There's also going to be 1 spark roll. So I'm going to take the spark dice. This is going to be a random spark put out on the board. These are for attacking sparks. So I'm going to roll the sector die, and I'm going to roll. Oh, that's right. I'm not using that. And I'm going to roll the number die. So a random spark's going to go on the board. It goes onto the partition where I am. That's the white face. It's not really white. It's kind of brown, but they call it the white face. The white face is also going to get a spark on number 5. So again, we are only down to 6 sparks in the supply. So action's coming fast and furious. So I'm going to need to hopefully get lucky and kill the 2 sparks on my location. If that doesn't work, I think we might be having a pretty early restart. So I'm going to contribute. I'm going to do a infect action, and I'm going to add 3. Yeah, I'm going to do 3 red commands, and I'm going to count that rootkit as if it was a red contaminant. So my attack value going in is a 4. I'm challenging a 2. So the 2 sparks there counts for 2. Now you could just use the normal die, which is the 6-sided black die, or you could have a die where you're rolling it. The odds get a little bit better for the SMC every round. So you have 1 for the copper round, 1 for the silver round, and 1 for the gold round. I've been doing that, so I see no reason why not to continue that. So I'm going to roll the copper die, I'm going to roll the red infect die, and I'm going in at a 4 to a 2. I rolled a 2 and a 2, so I managed to win. Again, the red die is my value, so I ended up being a 6 versus a 4. That lets me defeat all the contaminants all the sparks in my location, which is super nice. But then both of these cards are indeed used. All right, so that is number 1. Second thing I'm going to do is there's a nice combo here. Second thing I'm going to do is I want to get iteration, because this is a really strong card for what I need to do right now. And so I'm going to spend the I just took away 2 though, and we're about to add 2. we're adding another one. I don't see another way around this. So I'm going to get the blue, the green. So I need to get a red, a yellow, a blue, and a purple, and a green. I'm sorry. Remember, purple counts as a wild. So I can basically put 2 wilds and a blue and a green to get one of each color that's non-purple, because my purple is wild. And I'm going to get something from the Hack Shack. Now, when you do that, you're going to basically drop 1 card from your hand for the rest of the game. So Data Steal is just going to go away. The other 2 go in my discard pile, and the card you gain goes into your existing hand. Now, with these special rules, when I purchase an advanced action from the Hack Shack, I must remove 1 contaminant. This purple contaminant is now going to go on this card, which kind of sucks. But hopefully we can do some cool things next turn. But I'm worried I'm going to get overrun with sparks in the interim, but we shall see. All right. So that's my full turn. I'm going to hold on to iteration for the next. I'm going to hold on to iteration to the next round, which might be a mistake, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to get to the replenishing hand step. So I'm drawing 5 new cards. We get bypass. So now I'm going to have 6 cards in my hand. Interrupt. Diversion, like that. Sabotage. And trickery master. Interesting. I really want to buy that. I don't think it's meant to be. So, but I think I can do. Well, if I have no movement. Yeah, this is a rough. That's a rough SMC card, man. All right, we are now gonna go to that's my end of turn step. Now we go back up, and I have another whole turn. So we have a start of the turn step again. At the start of a turn, I add a spark to my access point. Then we're gonna roll, because we have to add a random spark somewhere. I roll this dice. I rolled the blue server number 2. Blue server number 2 gets a spark up here. So again, added 2 sparks. Now, when you move, you can bring countermeasures with you, and that's it. You can't bring sparks with you, but you can do things to push sparks. I do have a green, so maybe that is good idea. I was really hoping to get, but oh wait, now we replenish the Hack Shack, so we get another advanced command out here. That's interesting. I think I pushed that. Yeah, I'm gonna use the green, and so you only have 6 left in the supply. That's not good. We use the green to push this spark out. I'm going to then use iteration to do an upload action. So those 3 yeah, those 3 purple commands, which are called information commands, I can turn that into a rootkit. I'm going to turn these 3 yellow commands into, I'm going to do an upload action and turn that into a into a replicant. And then I'm going to use this purple command, again, this leadership command, as if it were a blue. I'm going to move into an adjacent partition, and I'm going to bring, oh, can I move? I'm assuming I can move. I can treat a rootkit as a data move. I can only have one rootkit in a partition instead of multiple. I can treat it as a data node when moving. Oh, you know what? That's actually perfect. I'm going to leave that exactly as, oh, I can't turn that into a purple. But I can. God, I wish I had that card. That would just, it makes uploading so much more efficient. So maybe, but am I moving? So you can't upload where there's a where there's a spark. So that's been part of my issue right now. I pushed. I have another idea. If I make 2 yellows, so I make the rootkit. I push, I make the rootkit. I don't have any, stupid, I don't have any greens. If I had that one green, I could get that, which is tempting. So if I don't push this out, let's rewind this whole hand. Again, this is where I like get the Spirit Island feel for me. If I don't push this out, if I move to a place where there are no contaminants, I think this is stronger. If I use this purple leadership command as if it were blue, I can move 1 here. While I'm there, I can use iteration to make a rootkit. I can then use bypass to get adrenaline surge, so it only costs 1, but it gives me 2. Also, when this card is used as part of an upload action, you may upload 1 additional contaminant of that type of partition to that partition. Now, since I got that card from the Hack Shack, this purple has to go there. Then I can do an upload action with these 3, and I can add the adrenaline surge. So instead of just getting 1 yellow contaminant, I get 2. That puts me in a much stronger spot. And now I already have 2 on there, so we're clearly going to reach our goal. But again, I've only taken 2 off, and I've added 4 in the last 2 turns, so that's a problem. But I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. So we go to the command action step, replenish hand step. I draw my last 5 cards. I'll have 6 more cards in my hand. 4 and 5. We go to the end of turn step. There's nothing. We go to the start of turn step. I add another thing here, so obviously that's a problem. We're going to then add a random one to red 3, which is over there. That's not good. We're going to replenish the Hack Shack. Oh, sorry, you replenish the Hack Shack before the new Spark step, but I don't understand the total point of that. Ooh. definitely want that, because again, the more ability I have to get rootkits out, the better. All right. So this is my last turn. Again, every turn we get more dudes there, and if I get a third one there, it's creating a guardian. So I need to prevent that. I can push one. At some point, I might actually want to create a guardian, because woof, there are too many sparks on the board. Guardian would take 3 off. But if I move there, revealed on your turn. Yeah, black market is definitely awesome. Yeah, I'd be much more aggressively getting new cards to my deck. Just having to take my rootkits off while I'm doing it has been a pretty interesting situation. Really need another yellow. I don't love it. If there's any sparks there, we got problems. That gives me a possibility. All right, I'm gonna turn these. Ugh. I'm going to use this blue to go back to my home server, and I can bring 3 of any one of the same color with me. I'm going to use these green command actions, the cognition action. I could push 2 of these. I'm only going to push 1. Now I'm going to use a modify action, and with Rupert, so I'm using a deception command and a leadership command to modify this spark, so the spark comes off, and I'm making it a rootkit. Then I'm going to use Black Hat, take it out of the game to get Black Market. And since I got a card from the Hack Shack, this goes here. Now, Market has a reveal ability. So there's execute abilities, which essentially you're using the card for the exit ability as opposed to for the symbols. Or there are reveal abilities where I can essentially replenish the market, because I don't really love these cards. So I think I will do that. There are definitely better. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these 3 cards to immediately replenish them. So these are just discarded Hackshack cards. So 1, Sidekick is great. Black Market Intercept is great. Oh, those are too high. So Sidekick, read Intercept request. and console. I need. Oh. All right. Yeah. The more of these purple commands I can get, the freaking better. So since I revealed it, I could still use the action. All right. I'm going to use these 3. Probably want to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these 3. Use these 3 cards to upload a rootkit. And then I'm going to use Black Hat, take that out of the game to get Sidekick. And then Sidekick has an execute ability. I'm going to use this card not for the 2 reds. I'm going to use it for the execute ability to delete 1 spark on my partition or an adjacent partition. I will delete the spark in number 2. All right. Now we go to, oh, and since I bought a 4th card from here, so again, I should have 4 advanced actions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put this here, and we definitely added a significant number of purple commands to my deck, which makes me pretty happy. All right, so we've done a modify action, a move, we saw a virus attack. You saw like a pretty full first 3 turns here. We go to the end of turn, replenish hand step. I have no hand to replenish. What this, I discarded to the wrong spot. We have no hand to replenish. We go to the countermeasures phase. So the SMC's revenge step. The virus battle segment. So if I had any red contaminants on places with sparks, they would just automatically battle right now, except I can't use commands to add to the rolls or anything. So you're going to lose a lot of those battles. All right, after the battle, all contaminants that are on things with sparks just get deleted. So that blue, unfortunately, went away because remember the random spark die put a contaminant there. We're now going to go to the delete installation segment. If I had any installations on things, I didn't build any installations that round, so don't have to worry about that. But if I had installations on things with any countermeasures, sparks, or guardians, they would also be deleted. When a guardian is placed, by the way, it automatically deletes everything in that partition. So that's another thing to remember. Success or failure step, I did succeed, so we're going to take this card, flip it over. Again, my goal was to have at least 1 contaminant of my color. 2 contaminants of my color on this card. That happened. So I place all contaminants from this card onto the network, distributed however you wish. Now remember, I cannot have more than 1 purple in any given partition. So, and they also would be, they would count as well, I don't think they would count as viruses when infecting. So I think I have to be doing an infect action for them to count as viruses. So they would be vulnerable to being deleted, but now I have 4 of my 7 rootkits already on the board, and I don't hate that. So we have 1, 2, they can go anywhere. Anywhere in Haim. Oh, that's super interesting too. I can treat them as an uplink when shifting, as a virus when infecting, or a replicant when modifying. All right. Any single type of contaminant when installing. Oh, that's interesting. So install, like, so I could, when you have 3 of the same color contaminant, that's how you install the servers. So essentially I could treat a rootkit in a partition with 2 colors of another thing as a 3rd thing to remove all 3 of those things to put out a installation. So that's helpful to know. The fact that I can treat them as green is interesting. So I'll just load up my network with them, and I'll put one just up here. Why not? Rootkits for everybody. Power up, people. The encrypting data The data encryption key is officially hacked, stacked, and packed. Next, I don't want to put this here. As you'll see, I'll put it here. Now, we're doing the highest number. Now we're good. That can stay there. So now we're going to do some spark movement. So the lowest spark on the blue is going to shift 1 down. So 1 goes to 6. The highest spark on green shifts 1 up. So 6 goes to 1. The highest spark on red shifts 1 up. So 6 goes to 1. And the lowest spark on purple goes down, so 1 goes to 6. So now again, you have a lot of things threatening to the sparks to come off. They're threatening to become guardians. Now, when you battle a guardian, instead of adding 1 for each spark that's there, because obviously there's no more sparks there, you're just adding a +4. So that it's harder to defeat guardians once they're on the board. However, this console cowboy is looking pretty awesome, and I am hoping to grab that. And now when I upgrade cards, I'm not going to have to worry about taking rootkits off the network. They just all stay, right? So I'll be able to hopefully amass a nice little defense here. So that's the end of the boost spark step, scoring token step. Great. So I've succeeded. I get a 25 VP token. I think these are really dumb. They're a thing. So we got a 25 bronze VP token. Excellent. We're now going to go back to the intel phase. So in the intel phase, we're going to figure out, normally you're only doing 1 of these cards, but when you're playing as Mother, there are going to be 2 of these cards in the silver phase. So the silver round. Again, there's a bronze round, a silver round, and a gold round. So that if they work together, great. If they're very different, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, Saja says, well, at least this game is light on weird terminology. This game feels more dated than Maze Knight by a lot. Oh, by a ton. At least the tokens are easy to distinguish from the tiles. That is a good, there's a good contrast. Jeez. I'm sorry, dude, but I will bail. I know you were speaking English, but every third word means absolutely nothing to me, and I cannot even grasp the logical links. Mike J says, Ricky Roll Game. Hi, Greg. What's up, Mike? Saja, you never played Legends of the Void. I think you might like it. Hard to find coverage on it, but there is some. My friend has it. I'm mildly intrigued. I don't know. It's like I'm less and less intrigued by new games as with my current life situation. But rolling that, I get number 4. So we're doing this, and does this die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Are you a normal die? You are. So we have 6 left. I rolled a 1. So these are our 2 challenges for the silver round. So first we have Dreams of Salvation. Have 1 Neural Hub per Renegade on Salvation. So I need to get a green installation on Salvation. That's going to be very hard. All right. Or petition adjacent to Salvation. So I could get it like here, and that would count. So that's probably gonna be a little bit easier. This cycle, when rolling for sparks, the server die means salvation. So the server die face is the white face. And so that means we're more likely to get stuff on red than we would normally. All right, Swarm goal, clear the Swarm server of all sparks and guardians. The Swarm server roll the server die during the intel phase. Its result is a Swarm server. Add 1 spark to its decisions without countermeasures. Afterward, the cycle, the server die face means the Swarm server. I'm okay. Well, that doesn't work well together. Because the server die face can't mean the Swarm server and the Salvation server. Unless the Swarm server is Salvation, which would be amazing. Let's see if it's going to be Salvation. So the Swarm server is yellow. All right. Add a thing to each of our stations without countermeasures. So 1 and 2. All right. So that's the Swarm server. I don't know how to resolve that conflict. That's really annoying. Dreams of salvation. Unless you just draw another one. And if I don't roll the white, it's a non-issue. So hopefully I just don't friggin' roll the white. And then I'll just randomly distribute it if I roll a white. I don't know. It's a very niche conflict here. Of course I stumbled into it. Doesn't take much. All right, so we're gonna go to the start of turn step. At the start of turn step, we're adding a spark here. So now we have 2 sparks on my access point. We're also rolling the spark dice twice. One is green 1. Green 1 gets a second spark. And we're getting another one, so we're adding 3 a turn now. Green 5. So yeah, we got some problems. There's only literally 1 left in the supply. We're gonna need to really start eliminating sparks and doing so very, very quickly. So we're resetting the hack shack. Oh, it's just a refund the hack shack before you eliminate sparks. It is what it is. I'm gonna draw 5 cards. And now again, I can more aggressively get cards out of the hack shack because I'm not taking my contaminants off of the board. We have 24 sparks on the board. Woof, woof, and woof. So, bam, we have data scan, we have focus, we have renegade apprentice, we have infiltrate, and we have sidekick. Yowza. I very much need to get greens out of there because I need to get a neural server going. I need to clear all the sparks on here, which is they keep adding new ones. And I need to get a neural hub here to succeed. I have 3 turns to do this. There are no there's no obvious way to get the cards up there. Well, this is an even trade. I'm going to use this blue and this purple as if it was 2 blues to get a blue and a purple into my hand. It has an executability. I can put 2 cards on the bottom of my deck and then draw the same amount. I don't hate that because just not great cards right now. So I'm gonna take these 1. So this card, execute, place this card and up to 2 other cards from my hand to the bottom of my command deck. 2 and 3. We're gonna put them here. And then I'm drawing 3 new cards. 1, 2, and 3. That's better. This is used as part of the upload action. You can upload 1 additional thing. All right, we're going to use the memory steel. We're using that as a purple and a green. I'm using the purple as if it was yellow, and then I'm going to put out a green. I'm going to convert this. I'm modifying that spark into a green contaminant. So that was that command. Remember, adding 3 around, so be helpful to do more. convert another green. Again, I don't have any movement. So when you're doing a modify action, you have to have more. You have to have more. What are the yellows called? Replicants than you do sparks. And the root kick I can treat as it was a replicant. So that's why I've been able to do these. I think I make another green, and then I kill that spark. That spark's probably easy to kill. I could probably kill the ones behind me. They're going to be harder. So yeah, I'm going to do focus and interrupt. So I'm doing another modify action. So I'm going to turn this spark into a green. And then I'm using sidekick to delete one spark in an adjacent petition. I'll delete this spark. Now I'll just go down. I'll delete that spark. So we deleted 3, and then I'm going to hold on to Adrenaline Surge. Because that could prove helpful. All right, good times. So we're going to go to the replenish hand step. I get black hat, black market, diversion, sabotage, and iteration. I have, that's why I wanted that. Woof. If I had the sidekick in my hand, I could use iteration to reveal sidekick and then still keep the card in my hand, which is like super useful. I just kind of forgot that. I still think it was better to keep Adrenaline Surge, as we'll see. But yeah, that would have been a nice combo. All right, so we're going to go to the start of the turn step. I'm going to add a spark to my access point. We're rolling the dice twice. My partition 5. So it's either going to be this 5 or this 5, because again, both of them say the server die counts as that thing. So I'm going to just randomly determine, because it can't possibly be both. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be the salvation one. 4, 5, 6 is going to be this one. I rolled a 1, 2, or 3, so we're putting it here. And we have to roll this die again, and that's actually where I am too. And yellow 4 now gets 1. And that is going to be challenging. All right. Well, ooh. That's intriguing. This comes here. Data shift. Again, I'm not. Ooh. Yeah, I think that will work. So I'm going to reveal to get rid of all of these and immediately replace them because of black market. So Knight and Ship, Ginger Cool, and Duality. I'm going to use Black Market and Black Hat. Black Hat's out. Now I get Console Cowboy. Down to 5 cards. I'm going to Ugh. So I can push from here. So I'm in a place with green. I can treat rootkits as if they were also green, and I could like push things out of there. But I have like a more layered idea. Push that. That rootkit goes away, but I'm kind of fine with that. I killed those 3. All right, if I use the sabotage, the leadership command on sabotage to push this spark into here, all 3 of these sparks become a guardian, and my rootkit comes off because the guardian immediately destroys it. But now, since I have a rootkit here and 2 greens, I can spend a green command to immediately get a Neural Hub. Now this is adjacent to red. I was kind of hoping to put it on 1, but it can stay on 6. So these come out. So I can treat that as any color during an installation action. Yeah, this guy is really advanced. Like I would definitely not recommend playing this. And now, since I put a green installation here, I can essentially ghost my action into any other partition on the server. So I can play Console Cowboy to delete a Guardian on my partition, but because I'm doing this, I can pretend like I'm here because it's on the same server to delete this Guardian. Trust me, it's legit. Oh, wait, and actually, this is even better. I can reveal during my turn, along with another card, to perform that card's execute action. So I essentially just revealed this, and I get to keep Console Cowboy and this. So now I have 7 wild commands to do with what I want, which is pretty bananas. All right, but now this Neural Hub is super nice. I'm going to pretend like I was there, but I don't have any. um, hmm. And we still have to clear this of all contaminants, and I still have 3. And I'm going to add at least 1. We'll see what the spark dice do. But so I'm adding 3 more next turn. I've taken 3 off this turn, so I'm holding serve there. I do have a Neural Hub adjacent to 6, which is super good. To Salvation, which is good. This is at risk of being lost forever. I think I hold on to Diversion. 7 wilds and nothing that really makes me excited to do anything with them. Because I just feel like I'm just underutilizing those cards so hard. But I'm eventually I'm gonna have to do something. So if I move, yeah, I had to do it in that order. At least from what I'm looking at. What is this? I can turn yellow into a red. That's not great. Definitely want adrenaline surge. You know, I didn't use the adrenaline surge for the purpose. I should have just bought Ginger Cool. That was this round, so I would have done that. It's just distinctly better. I like that also, but the interrupts could be cool, and like seeing more cards up there could be cool. So now it gives me another purple in my deck. Yeah, it's not worth buying item ship or duality, and I'm saving diversion in my hand for next round. So the real question is, how the heck am I making the rest of this round work? So I think, I mean, they're just all over the place. Yeah, I'm going to have to use one of these cards to do a move command. I'm going to bring 2 yellows with me. Oh, and actually, I don't even have to leave there. That's the sick part. I could do a move command where I'm essentially starting here and ghosting, but I don't actually have to leave. This is really trippy. And then I could do another. Oh, there was a spark there. Where the hell did I put it? Did I shift that accidentally? I think that it's accidentally got shifted. I don't remember there being a. Ugh. There were 4 in the supply, so one of that something got shifted. Was there 1 and 1? Yeah, because it came down from 6 to 1 during spark movement. Yeah, sorry about that. So then I can do another command with console cowboy, where I'm going to essentially convert that spark into any color I want, because it's again a bunch of wild stuff. I'll convert it into a rootkit. So I did a modify action. So again, I did a ghost movement, and then I did a ghost modify with the 2 cards that I had there. I was able to reveal another card to do that execution, and then use both cards for their redemption, for their leadership commands. All right, replenishing my hand, decrypt, trickery master. So right now, we're going to have at least 3 sparks. We need to find a way to kill this round. And I'm sitting there on my Neural Hub. And I say 3 because remember, we're going to add 1 to the top. So we go start a turn step. We add 1 here. Replenish Hack Shack. Restock Hack Shack. We get Adrenaline Surge. And we get Dancing Pig. That I like. Now we're going to get 2 new sparks. It's my server 6. Which server is that? I'm rolling this. 1, 2, 3 is there. 4, 5, 6 is there. Oh, I rolled a 3. And now it's supposed to be here. Because this is the swarm server. So I actually did it wrong. Did I roll a 5? I think I rolled a 5 last round. And I rolled a 2 this round. I don't know. It's stupid random. I'll just pretend they were like this. I can't even. I rolled the same number both times. So I'll make it harder on myself. I have to clear the server off, so I'll do it there. Because the 2 technically should have been that one, but I'll just, again, I have to clear 4 contaminants on my server this round. Wait, sorry, I rolled my partition 6, and I'm gonna roll the dice again because I still have 1 more spark to add. My partition 1. I'm just treating them all as a swarm server. It is what it is. I think that's the harder card. It obviously makes my life more challenging because I don't think I actually have a way to clear off 5 contaminants in one freaking round. I can push them out. I don't have any greens. Have 1 contaminant on your server. So petition is with 1 spark. Well, yeah, rolling at 6 was gross. Assuming I can walk with just the rootkit, right? Because when you move, you can move with... When you move, you can take up 3 identical contaminants, 1, 2, or 3 of the same type. So I could take 1 rootkit with me when I move. If I do a battle, I do a 4 to a 2. How the hell? I can treat rootkits as blue when moving. Execute that to convert that to battle that. push those. All right, if I get, that's or execute. Nope, that's good. So they come down to a battle, but we could do worse. So we're going to use the wild from read request intercept to get adrenaline surge. I'm going to use adrenaline surge. Again, I can ghost myself into any partition here. I'm going to ghost myself into 1. And I'll push 1 into 5 and 1 into 3. Oh, that card is used. All right. I'm going to use diversion. It's tricky. I'm going to use diversion to get dancing pig. Shopping at the Hack Shack. I'm going to have 1 contaminant on my server. Swap parts with 1 spark on my server. I'm going to have these 2 switch. Oh, I could do it that way. No, I gotta do it this way. I'm gonna then use Trickery Master. I'm gonna ghost myself into what's here because I have a Neural Hub there. I don't know why I keep throwing cards up that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You should always have 12 cards. I'm going to use Trickery Master. I'm going to use the yellow to initiate a modify command, and then the purple is a wild. I'm going to make a red. I'll make a rootkit. What's the difference? No, I can't make another rootkit there. So I got to make a red there with the modify action. I'm going to use the crypt to ghost myself into here. I can walk in with 1 color of contaminant. I'm walking in with the purple. And kind of the moment of truth. Really did not get many opportunities to get a lot of the leading spark commands or extra things. So I'm going to do a 4 to a 2. I'm going as a silver die. I'm rolling the red die. So 4 to a 2. My game comes down to a bad roll. 6 to a 5. So 9 to a 7. I win. The 2 sparks are defeated. We did it. So we definitely, by always counting the access point as this, which is the server I had it clear, that definitely made things a bit harder. But we managed to clear out 5 sparks. 2 of them, remember, we just pushed. So we only have 5 in the supply still, but managed to keep that server clean, which is good. All right, we're going to go to the rest of the round. With the battles, there are no battles. This spark does delete this blue contaminant. And then we go to the success or failure step. We did succeed. So we're going to do these 1 at a time. I did kind of treat this as the primary, so I'm going to just go with that. Add 1 spark to partitions 1, 3, and 5 to the swarm server. 1, 3, and 5. Oh, that's gonna probably end my game unless some of these sparks go away. I think we lose at the beginning of the next round because I'm gonna have to add 3 sparks. So that's not good. No matter how many fingers we have plugging up the dike, it still leaks. The highest thing on blue goes, all the sparks in there go up, so they'll go there. The lowest one on green, which is 1, they all go down. The highest thing on purple goes up, and the lowest thing on yellow goes down. That's done. Delete 1 neural hub from the network. Oh, dear God. Yeah, we're going to lose. We have to add too many sparks. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, there's some things. So we're gonna add a neural. We have to delete the neural hub. Great, and then we add a neural hub. So we do all these hard things, and it just like pours out more sparks. It's never. It's just it's a thing. I don't love it. I mean, I guess it's like why people don't like the events in Spirit Island. Like, I just, at least the events, like, they give and they take away. This is kind of like, they doesn't, some give, some take away, some, they're very, like, hard to counter. And in a supply limited game like this, like, I mean, it's not like adding Blight where you kind of, I guess it's like adding Blight. I don't know. It just feels a little bit swingy. So essentially, I can add a neural hub wherever I want. I'll add it there. Who cares? And then I add 1 spark to every partition adjacent to the neural hub. I mean, there's no place where I can go, well, wait, maybe I can do something crazy here. How do I get maximum amount of sparks back? Let's do this. Oh man, I'm adding 3. Yeah, we're doing this. I'm going to add the neural hub there. I'm adding a spark to every partition adjacent. So that goes there. 3 sparks become a guardian. This goes here. 3 sparks become a guardian. I get another one here. Oh, fuck, we have to do movement. Highest is 5. Yeah, that's even fine. We get another one there, which is 2. Another one here. 3 sparks become a guardian. Another one here and another one here. So we essentially took off 6 sparks and added 3. So we can survive another round. All right. Red movement. The lowest partition goes down. Yellow, the lowest partition goes down. Lowest partition is now 3, goes down to 2. Red, the lowest partition is now 3, goes to 2. And purple, the highest partition goes up, so 5 goes to 6. And we're still alive. Remember, the countermeasures only attack in very specific orders, so we're still good to go. So the flavor text here is no matter how many fingers we have playing up the deck, it still leaks. And you want mind games? Oh wait, okay, we can play mind games. Don't be a sore loser when we beat you. I'm being a sore loser, guys. I'm sorry. Since both of the things were successful, I get the 25 point for the silver round, and now we just get set up for the gold round. All right. Mike James solo Legend of the Void is Terraforming Mars meets Uthia with Gaia Project round bonuses and scoring goals. Hard to say if you like it, Greg. You're tricky. Yeah, all of you just said just makes my head hurt right there. Mate, what's up? Hello, what's going? What game is this? It looks like Alien Artifact with the board. Gotta go, Greg. Good luck. Work after work calls, no doubt. This is Renegade. And what time is it? This is taking longer than I thought. Hold on one sec. I need to check. Whoa. Never mind. Sorry. Weird text. Nothing serious. It's about baseball, but exciting times. All right, 2. Bam. Distributed defense. Huzzah. Goal. All avatars must be on a petition having a neural hub, not on faith during the success or failure step. So I need another neural hub on the board. Mother's Wrath during your start of turn step, add 1 spark to faith number 1. If you end any move action on a server with another avatar, add 3 sparks to petition. There are no other avatars, so I don't have to worry about that. But we now are adding 4 sparks a turn, so that's super exciting. Did I miss any start of turn crap over here? Nope. 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 All right. So we're gonna reset our deck. We're gonna reset the Hack Shack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Make sure I didn't end up with too many cards. All right, drawing 5. We have Decrypt. We have Memory Steal. We have Interrupt. We have Infiltrate. We have Console Cowboy. Allows me to delete a Guardian on my partition. Don't mind if I do. So, what are we doing? Well, we're adding a spark. 1 spark to faith number 1. That's a we're going to lose this way, aren't we? All right, when we add a when the hell do flares come out? There's a whole thing with flares and sparks and blah 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 blah. Timing is everything. Flares trap contaminants. Whenever a spark with a guardian, they cannot. This means instead of the token, they add 2 flare tokens to the next number partition. They could. All right, so yeah, this is I think a sequence that's gonna kill me. So 1 gets a spark, bam, it can't. Instead, it gets 2 flares. The flares are placed one at a time. So what happens? Oh yeah, this is absolutely game over. It's absolutely game over. So it just was the wrong card. So what happens is the first spark comes in, removes these 3. Then you get a firewall. Then what happens from there is the next flare comes in. Oh, that's a problem. It adds 2 flares. Oh, it can't add any. So the first one creates 2 more flares to go with the first flare that I had. And then these 3 flares go, first flare goes there, bam. That creates a firewall. And the other 2 flares go here. So I actually survived. Let me run this again. I had to put a spark there. That spark costs 2 flares. The first flare intermingled with the 2 sparks to create a firewall. The second flare came here. No, the second flare created 2 flares. The 2 flares came here. The first flare turned into 2 more flares. The 3 flares came here. This flare intermingled, created a firewall. This flare intermingled, became a firewall. It went away. Oh, no, we definitely lose. became a firewall, and then went away. The second one comes in, creates 2 more flares. The third one also would have created 2 more flares. Yeah, I have no more firewalls or guardians. So that is the game, kids. Just wasn't even able to get into round 3. Kind of disappointing. I mean, the only other option. And if we go back, we had 2, 2, 2, nothing. This is 1 and 1. It would only had 2, and I only had 2 left over there, which was absolutely right. Is there a place that I can create firewalls that aren't 1, or guardians that aren't 1 over there? If I put a Neural Hub, that gets me 3 back. Let's try to be more reasonable. If I put this here, in the Neural Hub, we create, that would have created the firewall. This creates, we get a thing there and a thing there, right? But then I still only have 2, so that one of them worked. So I would needed to create at least 2 guardians. I can create 2 guardians here. I can create 2 guardians in blue. There's just so many adjacent things. I need to have at least 4 in the supply, because I wouldn't have known that that's creating a thing. So without that knowledge, so if I create a firewall, dear God. If I create a firewall, if I create a guardian here, spark, 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 guardian here, spark. Oh God, if I don't create 3, I still don't have. If I take 4 off the board but add 4, I guess that's net 0, Greg. That's how that works. So yeah, I would have had to made 3 guardians. That's literally the only place I could have gone. I mean, his luck would have it. I mean, understanding the situation. If I go here, guardian, thing, thing, which makes some sense. This becomes this. Now, at the start of the turn step, we'd have to add 1 here and 1 to faith number 1. That would actually create another guardian, which gives me 3 more, which would have kept me alive. So if I wasn't so aggressive, we can play that out, see what happens. Because then we do this. Nope, that's not right, Greg. Hack Shack. That's better. And then we could roll the spark dice for new sparks. Blue 6. And finally, faith 3. That also creates a guardian. And it gives me 4 back in the supply. So if we rewrite history a little bit, I put my Neural Hub there instead of there. Again, if you're playing the Ricky Royals preferred way, if I knew that was coming up, it's like, great, I know that's turning into a Guardian anyway. I could have taken that risk knowing I would have survived, which is fine. So we've done all the start of turn stuff. We added the new sparks. Now we have the command action step. I need 3 reds. Let's do this. I mean, there are just freaking sparks everywhere, kids. I'm going to turn these 3 reds. And only 2 guardians left. I think I saved this so I get that other thing that allows me to reveal it. I could potentially knock out 2 of these guardians. I think this is too awesome. So if I play these 2 reds and this wild, I'll get rid of infiltrate. I'll get reset spark. The wild was used for that shopping trip, so we go there. Then I could execute this to delete all sparks in my partition. I could also have, if I was in a place with a guardian, I could have done that. But then I'd add a spark, and obviously getting sparks back in the supply is key. I must end my game there if I'm gonna win. So it's another thing. I wanted to put it on faith had I looked and saw ahead. What was that gold? Again, it's another way to play the game. That's a little bit more, a little bit less punishing, I guess, in a way. I'm gonna shop, get duality. I'm going to use the Neural Hub not there anymore. Use the movement on the crypt to go here. I'll bring the rootkit. No, I'll leave the rootkit. No, I'll bring the rootkit. Then I'm going to use duality to execute that to flip the red to a yellow. All right, we're going to replenish my hand step. We get iteration, trickery master, adrenaline surge, sabotage, and 1 more card is black market. That's the end of the replenish hand, end of turn step, nothing happening. We go to the start of turn step, start of turn. Oh dear God. We're adding a thing there, it becomes 2 sparks. The 2 sparks come out to create a firewall here. Need to get lucky with these rolls. So faith number 1 gets 1, my access point gets 1. We replenish the Hack Shack, and if these rolls go bad, we are not recreating history again. Purple 6 is open for business. And right, I think I got purple 3, which is how that got added. We get green 5. Green 5 is also fine. All right. I don't have a lot of movement, but that's awesome. We get rid of Tricky Master to get this. I'm gonna reveal this to discard all of these cards and get new ones with the black market. So Dancing Pig, emit emp, and data sheet. Oh yeah, it's so good. I'm gonna get rid of sabotage to get emit emp. All right. I'm going to use self-modifying inhibitor, the execute action, to delete 1 spark on my partition and then add 1 replicant here. wish I did not turn that into a red. I turned that red into a yellow. The red would be a lot more useful right now. Oh, I can use. Oh, that's freaking great. I can use a rootkit as a red. Most excellent. All right, I'm going to. You can always also at any point discard 3 cards to get a leadership command. It's just an absolute awful use of cards. You cannot enter places with flares. You can ghost yourself in. So firewalls, so I literally can't even enter that location, which is pretty unfortunate. Don't think I have enough movement to do two. To defeat 2 guardians. Which is unfortunate. I don't have the movement. Nah, I really don't have the movement I need. That's really bad. I can Neural Hub in there. That's interesting. Move. I also could have done this and revealed this instead of like actually executing it. I really like emit amp, but I just don't think it's gonna work. Reveal during your turn with another card to perform that card's execute event, and then I get the execute event again, essentially. So I think if I move here, now I'll play this card, not with iteration, playing it on its own. So these both cards are revealed, so they have to be used this turn. I turn it into a yellow. Then I can black market myself here. I'm now in a Neural Hub. I can use this execute action to delete a guardian on my server. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because I'm adding another one to that, so I have to get to that server. Yeah, Faith 1 is the big deal. I have to eliminate that guardian. So what I'm going to do is take these these two, and pick up this. You can never have 4 yellows in the same partition at a time. So I'm going to use this 3 for movement. Black market stays. So I can go, because I can't enter the firewall. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'll use this to delete the guardian. That's out. And now I have these 2 wilds, which I have to play. Could I have done anything with them sooner? I don't think so. I could have pushed this yellow here where it might be a little more useful, and pushed this purple here where it could be useful. But that's fine. So I would have pushed when I was there. Then I used the push when I was there. I used this wild to move into there. I used this action again to convert one of the spark there to a yellow. I moved 3 from there to there with this, and I used the execute thing to delete that guardian. And we're still alive. So again, I have to end my game here. I've gotten rid of a lot of my movement cards, but we'll see if this happens. I have 1 more turn left. So you go Renegade, Apprentice, Focus, Sidekick, Ginger Cool, and Dancing Pig. So we have 0 movement. That's always a good thing. It's not good planning on my part. That's the end of turn step. We go to the beginning of turn step. We're putting a spark here. We're putting a spark here. We're going to replenish the Hack Shack. 1 and 2. We're rolling the partition dice, the new spark dice twice. The partition I'm on, 2, and that ends the game. Woo! Yeah, that is the game, because this would go here, becomes 2 sparks. The 2 sparks go here. The 1 becomes 2 sparks. The other one becomes 2 sparks. Because you have to do them one at a time. It's super goofy. And then 1, 2, that creates a guardian. Oh, wait. The 1 becomes 2 sparks. The other one becomes 2 sparks. This one comes here. This one comes here. That creates a firewall. Woof. Then this one comes here, creates 2 sparks. This one comes here, creates 2 sparks. These 2 come here, create a firewall. Yeah, we're screwed. And then you follow that cycle all the way through. I just was not able to. I think if I did this, how about that? If I did not convert that to a yellow, and I didn't push that. So I had 1 less yellow. There's a 1 there, I think. 1 less yellow. This was a firewall, so I couldn't enter there. And there was 1 here. think that's how that was. If I didn't push, I actually could have moved, and then the thing I could have used twice with iteration, I could have actually deleted this Guardian instead of deleting this Spark. But that means one more Spark would have been there. Would have left 3 in the supply. Then if I roll that 2, this goes there, that becomes 2 Sparks, or 2 flares. And then I have to roll again. And there's literally only 1 left in the supply, which means I could survive. It goes to Faith 6. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how I could defeat 2 Guardians. And the way I could have done it, if we go back to did I throw a bunch of cards up there? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I keep throwing cards up there like a gooberhead. 8. I don't know. It's not that important. We don't need to rebuild my hand. So I could have used a 3 movement to get there, revealed this there, destroyed that Guardian. Then I could have used 2 movement to get here. That card was already revealed for the Hack Shack. And then, oh, that's a problem. Interesting. I would have brought these with me clearly. Or I could have done the 2 movement, 3 movement. Actually, I probably want to end up in Faith 1, because I know a Spark's definitely going there. But if I was on a place with flares, the flares would, like, they just jump on top and they trap your thing, which is, when you're component limited, can be a problem in a bigger game. But when you you can defeat flares, you just can't enter where firewalls are. So then I could have played that, defeated that Guardian. So I just used that once, and that, yeah, defeating the 2 Guardians was what I was hoping to do, especially off of there. And I for some reason I was having a mental block on actually how to get the movement. But with all those wilds, I mean, essentially, and I'm not even using those. I mean, essentially, it was, yeah, there was no reason to go there at all. That was dumb, because I converted the yellow there. That goes away. I moved, I revealed that, deleted the Guardian, I moved, and then I played that, deleted the Guardian. And then the rest of these, what else did I play last turn? Should have just been 1 more card, which I must have been throwing things up there accidentally, so that's fine. All right, but now there's no more Sparks in the supply. I've had to recreate this a couple times to figure out how I could have possibly won it. We are going to, do I want to do Spark rolls? Who knows? You actually have to survive. Like, you see that a lot of times rewards are making you add Sparks. I think I'm less scared of Guardians and Sparks at this point. So I'm going to use this to push this in here. And we'll get a Guardian on blue 1. I have very little movement. I would love... Yeah, I can do this to have this spark. Oh, I have to get back there. Woof. Oh, that's not good. I have to get back there. Well, I'm gonna have to use that wild to get this card. I need to be in a partition with the Neural Hub. Woof. That's gonna be hard. Of course, all my wilds are out. I can use these two cards to goals to get this, which gives me another wild. Then I'm going to use those three wilds can get me back to the Neural Hub. The two blue and the wild, I can move back to the Neural Hub, so that's helpful. I can delete one spark on an adjacent location. So there's 4 sparks in the supply. Then I can move back. I'll pick up the rootkit on the way. And I could have brought these 3 here. 1, dropped off those 3, picked up the rootkit, gone there. Nothing else really makes sense. These things are kind of wasted. Can't really do anything with those. All right, and the turn effects. The sparks on the board are going to kill a bunch of things. Just so that blue goes away, that yellow goes away. We go success or fail step. No installation are deleted. We add a spark here. And do we do spark movement? I don't know. Do you do spark movement in the third one? Do you carry out the entire card? I guess so. Success or failure step. Failed, then you should just do. That's a walkthrough. I don't know, man. Success or failure. When instructed, the top to bottom and the other presented. When instructed, blah, blah, blah. Keep that card and apply the move stack spark step below. All right, so you have to survive the movement, apparently. So we'll see the highest numbered, no, the lowest numbered wolf. The lowest numbered green moves down. So that, what a weird, of course it's going to be. Add one spark to every position where 1 or more avatars are located, but we're all supposed to be on the Neural Hub. All right, whatever. So this goes down to 6. That creates an explosion. So 2 flares. The flares come here. The first one goes there, makes a firewall. The second one goes there and explodes. And that happens. Moving up on purple, moving down uh, on blue. This comes here, creates an explosion. The two flares come here, create a firewall. So we have no more of those. And now we go up on red. 6 goes to 1. We survived. Come on, mother. Is it the best you've got? We've got to be spread out, but we're in control here. Don't really understand the success or failure with level 3 when that should be the end of the game. But again, it's just there's some things about this game that's missed for me, and then I would have gotten that token. Obviously, I had to replay. There are two major points I had to replay. Hindsight being 2020. One was the Neural Hub I put here instead of there. And then two, as I rethought, it's like, oh wait, what did I do twice? I needed to get 2 of those off. How could I have done it? I just had to I had to really think through that penultimate turn a little bit more. Um, Using the hack shack to get the movement I needed to get from here to back there, so I can get success in that third round. But look, there's a lot of great ideas in this game. I just find it something not great. I do like how your entire deck is pretty much turned over the course of a game. That was an interesting first challenge. I hadn't seen that card before. The puzzle here is super interesting. I just think that the lack of a clear endpoint win condition, there's no real, like, I feel like these cards, instead of giving me more movement and then a fail, it's almost like there was a whole part of the design that must have been scrapped at some point, because I just feel like these things kind of feel like a relic, right? Like the fail. So wait, I'm adding sparks, but again, all this makes sense if you're doing I'm going to see what I score. Like, I'm not interested in what I score. I want to win. So that, I think, is part of the disconnect for me. But like, if you're scoring it, great. If you like scoring games, you might like this a lot more than me. Since I don't like scoring games, I just want to play for the win. I'd rather see like a half a paragraph of like flavor text. It's like, you did this and the computer got pushed back and we need to fight another day. I don't know. Like, give me something. Like, the writing doesn't have to be great, but I just feel like it's a much more exciting, much more, it's like the you win guy in Spirit Island is interesting. This you succeeded, and here's a sentence of flavor text, and now move some things around and see if you really succeed. Like, well, did I succeed or not? Like, because if I got through to the third level, but now I'm gonna die and then I didn't succeed, but oh, I got a 25-point token, so that's supposed to be great. Like, I don't know. It really just misses for me. That I think if you take some of that, I think it is. I think dated was a good word for it. I feel like it does feel really dated. It doesn't feel like so many games do what this game does, but just do it better. But this probably has some really rich ideas that can be explored more. I think if you repackage this, change the awkward ending of it and stuff like that, I think you have some really good ideas. Retheming this, I think, would be very strange. If what Mike said up in the chat earlier comes to fruition. I think the theme is fine. People love this. I mean, you look at the Netrunner community that still, supported that game long after the publisher did, right? Like, there's a lot of fruit on this vine, but I don't. I learned this game and I was like, oh, that's it. And I put it away for several months, and then I came back to it like 3 weeks ago. So like, that's kind of telling for me. Like, if I really love a game, it stays on the table, and I get it on the channel pretty quick. I mean, Frostpunk was the latest example of that. Of like, wow, I love this game. Why did I wait so long to learn it? Whereas this game, I learned it, and I'm like, oh, let me see how I feel about it in a few months. And I came back to it, and I just kind of still felt the same way, where I'm like, yeah, I like it. There's a lot here, but I don't get the big push for it. And other than the scarcity of it, I think obviously that can drive, people's interest when people know something's hard to get. The cost to acquire this game is not cheap. I got pretty lucky to get mine for as cheap as I did. Again, that was in large part thanks to Phillip. Um, putting this on the channel with Rupert was probably not the greatest idea, because there is that learning curve is intense. But I like that. I mean, it's a cool idea, lots of flexibility. The blue guys tend to be getting really good at movement. The green guys have some really strange ideas. with them again because they're going with that neural hub stuff. Like the one guy, like he can always ghost himself in other places. The yellow, one of the characters can like split herself into two, so the avatars are in different places. The other one can count as a yellow contaminant once a turn for modification purposes, and then the red are obviously much more, combat oriented. The purple is just kind of like a jack of all trades. Seems very strong, I think, when you know what you're doing with him. So, thanks for bearing with me on the retries. I think, look, if you're going to play a game that's this much of a puzzle, that is part of the enjoyment for me. It's like, well, if I had done this different, how does that play out? But like literally, we had what, 6 sparks in our supply after setup. Like, that's a tight balance. Um, we had so many times where the game really did come down to a die roll. That's gonna make me feel a certain way. I mean, there's a lot of swing on this die when this die goes from 1 to 6, and the enemies die. If you're playing with the harder dice, which on the highest level maybe I shouldn't, but the enemies die is gonna average like a 4, right? So a lot of times you really need to overshoot it. But I played this with my friend Brian, and I swear he rolled a 1 for him and a 6 for the opponent. 3 times in the same game. It was pretty hilarious. But he didn't think so. I did. But what is going on? Due to low output, this game hurts my eyes. Matt says not had this one out in years. Good call. Sadger says, look, you were still going. Good on you. He says I played a Maze Knight solo blitz versus a level 12 in the meantime and had a win. I had a good time. Are you playing a good time? Tabletop says, oh my God, you're incorrigible. Sadger says, should I be? I don't think so. And Tabletop says, be as incorrigible as you need to be, bro. Yeah, that is that. So I hope this was interesting. I would love to talk more about it, find out what people love about it, like how they approach it differently. I mean, do you play? I guess you could two-hand solo this. It seems like be pretty easy to, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if I mean, I played it three hands. I mean, I played it three-handed with friends, and I don't think it added or detracted too much from the experience. There's not like a whole lot. I mean, so many of these things are scaled. Actually, one card is horribly scaled for solo that it needed an errata. I was like, that's why I actually looked for the errata, because I was like, this can't be right for solo. That's crazy. And of course, there was like, oh no, for solo, do this. Like, thanks. Um, I don't think the experience was very different multi-handed, because you are working on your own server. So in that way, it is almost like Spirit Island, although I think Spirit Island gives more opportunities for synergies. I mean, here, I guess if you have like a green character that's pushing a lot, and then the red character's killing everything, that could work. But you can only push so much, because once I have a third thing on there, guess what? It's becoming a guardian, right? Um, the swinginess of these dice is interesting. The swinginess of these cards. I mean, some of these cards are not created equal. I got lucky with the silver ones having a synergy between. All right, so I essentially needed to clear off yellow while putting a neural hub, in 1, 6, or 5. Um, some of those silvers get really wild. I actually think the supercomputers. I like Spider Vikings, kind of interesting too. Um, At 1 spark, added to the highest numbered. Yeah, Viking. I don't know. Spider, you're adding 3 in the things. They're different enough. They're interesting. I don't know. There is like a print and play. I mean, I guess Ricky Roy was giving these out as like um what you call it, giving them these out as of as like promos for a while. Now there's a print to play on BGG of like a full made challenge, a solo challenge where um you're using, it tells you what Renegade you're supposed to use. It tells you exactly what SMC card you're supposed to use, and I think that's a cool idea. maybe like a book of like unique challenges like that would be something more what I'm looking for. Um, but you know, it's a thing. This too is a game. Um, there are definitely some really good ideas in here, and I think there are just some ideas that need some serious reworking in light of just that maybe so it can show its age a little bit less. But I've enjoyed exploring it. I'm learning more and more that for there are games that are it's like friendships. There are friendships there are friendships for a day, friendships for a season, and friendships for a lifetime. There are board games for a day, board games for a season, and board games for a lifetime. And that last category for me is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Um, just as I kind of take stock of what I really want to play. And this channel has been huge in helping me with that. And I loved all the suggestions. And I've found so many games because of this channel and watching content of other people. Like I know there's a lot of people that talk about this game. It gets some really good reviews. I think part of that Ricky Royal is a very beloved character, and I get that too. That does make me like this game a little bit more and want to like it more. But in the end of the day, this game just really doesn't do enough of what I want a game like this to do to really make me feel a need to keep it around. So that's about it. I will be back on the channel. I do have some Maze Night plans for the hopefully not too distant future, so stay tuned for that. Questions, comments, epiphanies, please put that in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for a pretty lively chat, and until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.